Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia's reading series, WANA Live. Usually I would have my partner over here or over there, Damian Dressick, but he could not be on with me tonight, so it's just me flying solo out here. But I'm good with it because we have a great writer on tonight, like always. And this is someone that I think that a lot of people in our audience already are familiar with. Larry Rock and Roll Schardt is a best-selling, award-winning author. His latest book, My Runaway Summer, is a best-selling memoir. He is also the author of James Conner, The Triumphs of a Football Hero, and many other works. And there were really many that I did not list in this bio. Through the power of story and his uplifting and motivational Success That Rocks presentations, Dr. Schardt illustrates that no matter how terrible your start, there is a light at the end of your tunnel. For the past 30 years, Dr. Schardt has been inspiring students at Penn State in his writing intensive teaching, natural resources, and independent study classes. He is coordinator of over 20 mindful writing retreats held in the Enchanted Laurel Highlands of Western Pennsylvania. And if you haven't been to Laurel Highlands, you should go. It is gorgeous. From his peace sign to his smile to his familiar rock and roll, Larry does his best to share joy and plant seeds of love and happiness everywhere he goes. And it's my pleasure to invite Larry onto the show.
Hey, Christina. Hey, whoever's out there, rock and roll. Love you. Peace and love. Good. Good to see you. Thank you for having me on.
It is nice to see you. I met you for the first time at the West Virginia Writers Conference a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Your reputation preceded you. Everybody's like, wait till you meet Larry, rock and roll.
Thank you. I think that's good. Thank you.
It is. I think that, there's so many negative things in our world that we need more positive people. And so I definitely think it's a good thing.
Thank you. I actually, every day on Facebook, every day I put some kind of positive message out there because try to get that positive out there.
I read those, and that's very impressive because I know it takes a lot of thought and consideration to come up with things that are sincere that you want to say.
Yeah, thank you. It's all rock and roll.
That's right. So what are you going to read for us tonight?
Well, I'm going to read something from My Runaway Summer. And also, I just wanted to say, this is kind of a cool thing. I had 3 things come out at the exact same time last year. My Runaway Summer, Shell House, which is a compilation of stories from the mindful writers, and also Chicken Soup for the Soul republished a story they published like 10 years ago. They wanted to do a special issue on happiness, and so this was a surprise. So anyway, I got these. I was blessed to have 3 things come out at the same time.
That is incredible. And all I can think of as a fellow writer is, how do you manage all that social media?
I don't know how to do it, but thank you. I just keep plugging away every day and try to do the Facebook thing. And by the way, whoever's out there, God bless you. Thank you for being there. Please join me on Facebook. I'm Larry Schardt on Facebook. I don't have the rock and roll. I mean, it's on my page, but please join me on my Facebook page if you'd like. That would be great. I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter and all those kind of. I guess I'm supposed to say that at the end, but yeah. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, everybody. Good.
Sure.
So tell me when you go. Go ahead.
And let you do your thing, okay?
Okay. Thank you. I think I'm going to read a couple things from My Runaway Summer here. This book was written about when I ran away from home when I was 15 years old in the summer of 1970. And there's a lot of, I'm going to give you some of the backstory. It's in the book, but if you weren't around in 1970 and you don't know, 1970 was really the 60s. I mean, it has nothing to do with the end of the 70s. The 60s to me were really like 65 to 75, 76. But anyway, so I ran away from home and to escape violence of my father. And I'll just read you some of the book here. Right at the beginning, I have a hippie, the definition of a hippie: an idealistic dreamer with an eternally young heart and a free spirit who promotes good and shares positivity. A hippie lives and believes in peace, love, kindness, and freedom. A hippie can have long hair, wear unconventional clothes, and or sport a headband, but those things are not necessary. A hippie is a hippie on the inside and radiates love from their heart and soul. no matter what they look like on the outside. A hippie doesn't conform to the establishment that promotes war, hate, greed, control, and animosity. Hippies are united in their idealism, gentle spirits, and love of music, especially rock and roll, or whatever makes you rock and roll. So let's. Oh, and the table of contents. All of the chapters are named after songs that were out in that summer of 1970, the summer that I ran away from home. And they all correspond. And the only swearing in the entire book is on the first page. And the Christian bookstore wanted to carry this, but they couldn't carry it because of the slight little bit of swearing here on the first page. So I apologize right up front. And so we'll start. The title of the first chapter is Aquarius, My Generation. Summer 1970, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Peace and love are everywhere except at home. Dad slapped me across my face and slammed me against the wall again. My head ricocheted off the plaster. Splitting pain, lights out, total blackness. An instant later, my nerve endings blasted with a violent eruption of stars, fireworks, and colors. My left cheek stung from the blow. My head pounded. I refused to cry. I wouldn't give Dad the extra pleasure of thinking he'd won. You goddamn son of a bitch and bastard. You think you know everything, you worthless punk. Well, at least I have a job. He slapped me again. I was 15 years old, and the Woodstock Nation and the Age of Aquarius were in full swing. Peace, kindness, and harmony united the love generation. Magic filled the air. Flower power meant resisting the man, and rock and roll provided the perfect soundtrack. Home was a volatile powder keg wired to erupt. I lived in constant fear. I never knew when Dad was going to transform from mellow persona of Dr. Jekyll into raging lunatic Mr. Hyde. No one knew when an explosion was coming. Out of nowhere, Dad's unprovoked outrage would destroy any sense of peace at home. Alcohol only served to intensify his tumultuous blow-ups. So we'll skip a little bit here. The end of that chapter, it talks about planning on running away throughout the chapter, but the summer continued, the abuse continued, the taunting continued. My dream of escaping to Haight-Ashbury consumed my thoughts. 4th of July fireworks were a far cry more enjoyable than the fireworks at home. A few days after the bombs burst in air, I went to the park. The picnic table buckled under the weight of my friends who sat huddled on top. Everyone was talking at the same time, music to my ears. Did you hear John is looking for someone to hitchhike to New Jersey with him? One asked. New Jersey may have been the opposite direction from San Francisco, but it seemed like a great place to start, just to get away. In an instant, a zillion thoughts flooded my brain. My Tom Sawyer spirit kicked in. Should I go? And then I did go, and the next few chapters are about the journey out to New Jersey. But when I got to New Jersey, the guy I hitchhiked with just left me alone, and it was a really scary experience. But right after he left, I was standing on the boardwalk all by myself. Wow, now I really didn't know a soul in Ocean City. I snapped back to the moment. I was standing next to Shriver's candy store. Although through the huge picture window, I spotted a bin of licorice all sorts. My brother Fritz's favorite. I wonder what he's doing right now. Was my coming a mistake? No. As quick as the thought came, I did my best to erase it from my conflicted mind. Going back was not an option. My heart was sick. I missed Fritz. I missed all my brothers and sisters. I missed Mom. I missed my friends. But go back? No. I left to save myself. I escaped. I made the break. The toughest decision of my life. We'll skip a few lines here. I turned from the candy store window and made my way to the steps across the boardwalk, where there was a pavilion just ahead on my left. Groups of people milled around inside. Before I went down the steps, I stopped and looked over. People were huddling in conversation, smiling, laughing, and carrying on. Guys with long hair, gals adorning their locks with flowers, tie-dye, bell-bottoms, the smell of patchouli. It was my hippie mecca. The shelter buzzed with happiness. It was the Mount Lebanon Park of Ocean City. I flashed a peace sign at no one in particular, since almost everyone was busy doing what they were doing, except for one cute blonde girl with a white flower above her ear. She smiled and flashed a peace sign back at me. I melted. In that instant, the world transformed into a better place. Exhausted and much too shy to go over, I continued down the steps and laid on the beach below. I took off my shoes and my shirt and rolled up my bell bottoms to bask in the sun. The sand was oven hot. I used my shirt for a towel and my paper bag for a pillow. I should have gone over and said hello. I wish I wasn't so shy. I dozed off. A strumming guitar woke me. At first I needed to get my bearings, forgetting I was even on the beach. When I opened my eyes, two beautiful blue eyes were looking down at me. It startled me, and I quickly propped myself on one elbow. Tropical breeze blew wisps of blonde hair across a warm and welcoming face, decorated with a smile that dazzled. It was her, the girl who flashed me the peace sign. Before I knew it, she was sitting cross-legged in front of me. Then I go on. I think my time might be up for reading. I have a lot more to say, but I think I passed the time I was supposed to read. But thank you. And I just want to show you cool. We found my publisher and found a postcard actually, of this is where the hippies hung around, was that pavilion called Shriver's, and there's three girls in bikinis. It's a funny postcard from that era, but that was probably taken the summer I was there. I mean, it's just cool to see that. But anyway, thank you for bearing with me. And
well, thank you, Larry. That was great. And you know what? I can resonate with this story so much in two ways. I remember when I first saw you talking about this on your Facebook page. One, I ran away from home because of an abusive father as well.
Oh, wow. Oh,
and wow. Hearing you say that, there was peace and love, all over the country, everywhere but at home. Yes. And I kind of felt the same way. Like I would look around the world, and obviously, this would have been in the 80s in my case, and see the way that other people, other families live their lives, and I'm, a punching bag at home.
Yeah, right. Oh wow, Christina, crazy.
Yes. And the other one is Ocean City is my second home.
Oh, no way. I love Ocean City. Oh my gosh. I guess it's kind of my second home, since that was my homeless home when I was a homeless kid there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I can't think of a place, if I was going to be just abandoned by the person I ran off with, than Ocean City, because there's a beach, there's places to go, there's jobs galore, there's friendly people everywhere. I take my son there, and I've gone there myself for 15 summers in a row.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good.
And the year that we had the pandemic in 2020, I stayed on Assateague Island in a tent, because I was not willing to pass up my Ocean City trip, because it restores me. Do you still love Ocean City?
Oh, I love it. The thing I love most about Ocean City, New Jersey, where I ran away, was that it's a dry town. I was lucky. I happened to pick a dry town to run away to.
Yeah.
Because, I was so naive. I'm still really naive, but I was so naive then, and I have some friends sitting across from me, and their heads are going up and down.
But though, this is something that I always tell people, because I've had a really difficult life, and yet somehow managed to maintain my positivity. And I always tell people, sometimes you have to go down the well in order to find the sunlight. But once you find it, you never let it go. You share it with everybody.
That's beautiful, Christina. Yes. Yeah, that's very beautiful. Good. Absolutely.
And that's what this reminds me of. I love this book. I've read your book. I read it not long after you started posting about it. And what's next for you, Larry? What are you up to?
Well, I have a Christmas story that's 3/4 of the way done, and I actually wrote a book during NaNoWriMo.
Nice.
And that was an intense. And I don't know why they have NaNoWriMo in November, the month with the holiday, friends and everything. It's insane. But I was determined to get it done. And it's actually it's a story. It's a love story, and was kind of based on true life, so it's good. It was a good thing. So
I
it's
like that.
yeah, thanks. And I've been trying to edit it, but I got this new computer, and it's just been it's been a nightmare. So, but but that's an excuse, and I'm gonna get this thing edited quick. So
You'll definitely do it.
yeah, definitely. Well, it took me 2 years to get this out, and the reason it took me 2 years, I wrote it in the summer of 20 because that was my 50th anniversary of running away, and
Wow.
that's how I started it. But it took me 2 years to get it. Actually, finally, my publisher said, whether you like it or not, it's coming out in 2 weeks. And she told me at the Penn Writers Conference, it's coming out. And so I had no choice. But I was dragging my feet because of my family, because I didn't, I have a wonderful family. I love my brothers and sisters, but they actually, all that fretting, it came out probably a year and a half after it should have, but all that fretting, and they all loved it, which was really a compliment. That was really, really, really a blessing.
I understand that concern though, because I'm a memoirist, so I've had some books come out that have been very difficult, and my brother is like, "This really happened. I'm so proud of you." And my dad is over there highlighting and going, "No, I didn't." I won't be silenced. Rock and roll.
Okay, good.
So you do have a comment here, and this is from Donna Zarilla. She says, "You've left me wishing for summer."
Good. Well, hopefully you can read this on your way to summer. Thank you, Donna.
Well, and I'm glad she brought that up, because that gives us the segue to the last thing we're going to talk about, and that's Penn Writers, which is coming up.
Oh, I have one more thing that I wanted that I can't forget. I was probably wearing these that summer. These are my
That's fantastic.
These are hip hugger bell bong. I love these things. They're my
those are
one
great.
of my calling cards. I almost forgot.
Quilt.
What's that?
They're like a crazy quilt.
Yeah, right. They are. Yeah. How do you like that? Jeannie Galati. Put that on there.
I love it. That's great.
Thanks. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to be goofy. So you wanted me to mention the Penn Writers Conference?
Yes, it's coming up. I think our audience would like to know about that.
Thank you. Yeah, the Penn Writers Conference is Wednesday. Well, actually, it starts officially Friday, May 19th, and it goes through Sunday, May 21st. And it's at the Ramada in the Marriott, Pittsburgh Airport Marriott. I'm tripping over my own tongue. I have these two beautiful people sitting across from me, and I'm losing it. They're good people. Good. So
and registration has already opened, right?
Yes, it just opened. Yes, and I just made my reservations, made my hotel reservations, and looking forward to it. It's always a great conference. So
we haven't gone to it yet, but WANA will be there in some capacity. So
excellent. Also, we do. We had talked about that. We do mindful writers retreats too. We do those in the Laurel Highlands. We have one of those coming up at the end of March, which I'm excited about that.
Which is a beautiful segue to how I'm going to end the show. Our guest next week is Kathy Shoup, who also does mindful writing retreats.
Who happens to be my partner in the mindful writing retreats.
Exactly. Yes. And I hope everybody will turn in for Kathy's appearance. Kathy is amazing. I cannot say enough good things about her. Her historical fiction is just yes. And she does a lot of romance writing, and she's just an all-around wonderful, lovely human being. So please tune in next week. And thank you, Larry, for being on.
Yeah, and please join me on Facebook. And I do a Facebook Live every Wednesday night. Stroll through the yard with Larry Schardt thing. And thank you, Christine. Thank you, everybody. I don't know who's out there, but whoever you are, I love you. You got to know I love you. Thank you. Enjoy life. Rock and roll. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Rock and roll.